Hello everyone!
Hello!
This is meroekhalia and my mother!
Hi!
So we are going to show you how to cook a dish today called Yassa Chicken, and my mother will tell you some more about it.
Well, I'd like to tell you that we're making Yassa Chicken today because it is the most basic of African dishes. What's great about Yassa is that you can, once you learn the basic formula, you can apply that recipe to any kind of protein that you can think of. So today we are using as our protein chicken. It's delicious with fish. It is amazing with shrimp. And it is also one of the fastest meals that I have. You can go from walking in the door to dinner on the table in 30 minutes, depending on which protein you use. What we're going to use today is 4 chicken quarters that have been cut in half. Then we're going to use 2 yellow onions. Any onions will do. We're going to use lemon juice, and we're going to use garlic. In addition to that, you'll see we have a host of seasonings. Now, Maggi seasonings is something that's basic to all African dishes. I have chosen chicken bouillon. I've chosen this blue one is cilantro. The orange one is onion, and these are chipotle. You can also choose to use fresh herbs if you happen to have any. These come from my patio garden. We have basil here. This is Genoa basil, and this is a variegated oregano that's really beautiful. It smells wonderful, and it's very good. So we're going to add Italian seasoning. I mix cilantro, dry cilantro, and dry parsley, and also these beautiful laurel leaves, better known as bay leaves. You'll notice they're a little bit more beautiful than the ones you get in the store because they come dried off of a bush that we had. We're also going to be using olive oil, and traditionally it would not probably be olive oil, but it's a healthier ingredient, and we're going to use sea salt. You can also use either fresh garlic, or if you don't have time, feel free to use crushed garlic. You're going to make a delicious meal for your family. We have lemon juice, and the juice is already made. If you want to season to taste, if you want more lemon, you just squeeze another lemon out into your pan after it's got Yassa chicken. Most African meals are served as one-pot meals, and so you would have yassa as the protein and serve it over rice. Now, the way I learned this dish, it was served over white jasmine rice. But you have an alternative. If you would like to use brown rice, it's very nutritious. Or if you're not using any starch in the afternoon, like we try to do some days, you can use cauliflower and break it up. It looks very much like rice, and it'll give you that full feeling that you get from using rice or another starch. Okay, so depending on whatever pot you have, you can determine whether or not you'll need to use a little oil. In this case, I don't think you need to use any because we're using dark meat chicken, and there's plenty of fat underneath the skin. So what we're going to do is we're going to place it in the pan. You notice we're using the larger pieces first. I'm going to put that around in the pan. And when those pieces are done, you'll be able to lift them. They'll actually separate from the pan when they're properly seared. So we're going to brown this chicken on both sides. Once we brown the chicken on both sides, then we're going to turn it over. And this chicken is ready to go, so I'm already done. As you see, our chicken is beautifully browned, and we're ready to go on to the next thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I have about 2.5 onions here. Usually I use really large onions. In this case, they were kind of small. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them over the chicken. You see I'm spreading those very loosely. I'm holding a few out because what I found is really nice at the end if we can have some beautiful onions to add that won't be so cooked down. So I'm adding the seasonings. I'm adding water. I'm adding the bouillon. A shortcut when you're using the bouillon cubes is if you cut the cube in half, you don't have to unwrap each little bouillon cube. Cut it in half and then it just squeezes right out. It's really a lot easier to do that. So just a shortcut. Okay? This dish, as soon as we get through adding the seasonings, we're going to put the lid on this. Here goes the bay leaves. We're going to put the lid on this and let it cook the rest of the way. Now, I told you this dish was easy, and you see how basic it was. All we've done is add some simple seasonings. I'm going to put a little dab of garlic around this side, another little dab of garlic around this side, and that is basically it. Let's take the wrapper out. I think that's a good idea, don't you?
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to let this basically boil down, and then probably somewhere near when we think the chicken is ready, we'll come back and taste and adjust the seasonings based on what it's like. Okay? So you're going to put the lid on now, Meroe?
What temperature is it on now?
Now, it depends on what the stove is. We had it as a boil. I need to get it because I just had a lot. I'm going to take it up to a boil for just a minute, and then I'm going to bring it down to a pretty strong boil. Not boil, but a simmer. So it's going to be a hard simmer. Because what I really need to do is cook that chicken, you know. In order for chicken to be safe, it has to be well. While you're waiting, you see that the rice is done. It's completely finished. All you have to do is take a fork and fluff this. This dish will be served over a bed of rice with a salad on the side. Any salad that you would like, whatever is quick. This is a quick meal. At this point, you'll see it's a pretty steep boil. I told you I really wanted to get that chicken up to a good temperature. I'm going to turn it over already. I'm turning over that chicken. Make sure all that delicious juice, and trust me, it's going to be good. People love this food.
It smells good already.
All right. So this is going to be so good. So what we're going to do is we just turn it over and make sure everything gets a taste of that delicious juice. Then I'm going to, you see it's a pretty quick boil. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more, but I need to get the pot up to a pretty good boil. So you see my onions are still fairly firm, and you want those onions to be all the way across this. Now, if you're in Senegal, you probably want green olives in this dish, so feel free, if you love green olives, put about half a cup of green olives in this pot. This is the way my family prefers it, so that's why I do it this way. It's all good though. Thank you. Well, at this point, it's been cooking between 10 and 15 minutes. Let's look at it and see how we're doing, okay? So I'm taking the lid off, and I'm gonna do a few things. I'm gonna do a little taste test to see how it is. If I need to add more lemon juice, more salt, any more seasoning, what I need to do. So here we go. I think I hit it. What do you think, Meroe? Did I hit it?
Yeah, I tasted some earlier. It was good. It's very lemony, which is what I prefer for this dish.
All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more things. You're probably wondering what that green stuff is. I told you I was going to add more onions because it's nice to have some fresh onions that aren't cooked all the way down. But the parsley, if you add it at this point, it just brightens up the dish and makes it, the green pops. It's very pretty. And of course, green is my favorite color. So here we go. So now we're going to let this cook for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to serve it. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right. Okay, it's good boil. You see the onions are still, can see them. They haven't completely dissolved. It looks like it's tender. So let's try and see. What we're going to do is let's turn off the pot, okay? We're going to serve this over a bed of rice, okay? So this is the preferred rice from many of our friends in West Africa. This is jasmine rice. It's very light, has an amazing smell, a perfume that makes your whole house smell delicious. You see, Meroe did an awesome job. It's cooked to perfection.
Hey!
Really? Okay, so let's put down a couple of spoons of rice. Now remember, you're going to serve a green salad on the side of this. Okay? We're going to take a piece of the chicken. Let's take a leg as well. And then we need some of that sauce, because that's what Yassa is all about. It's all about sauce. Okay? So there it is. We're going to spoon that wonderful onion mixture. If you love onions, it's okay. Add even more. You can add as many as you want. Okay? And so now we're going to take a taste to see how it is. Let's see how it turned out. Some jasmine rice, onion, parsley, and chicken.
And lemon.
All right, it's your birthday. All right, I think it's good. Now remember, you can add more salt if you like. You can add more lemon as you like. But this is a quick, delicious, nutritious meal for your family.
Just say that remember part again, because I zoomed in instead of zooming out. Say now remember.
Add more salt if you like. A little bit more chicken bouillon. Remember also, you can change the protein. This is really a quick meal. If you cook it with shrimp, it only takes about 5 minutes for the whole thing to cook. It's delicious with any kind of fish. I would suggest fillet fish. And I must tell you that you actually don't even have to defrost the fish. You can take the fish, start it out in your pan. You may want to saute your onions first, then put your fish in, then put your bouillon and water in, and cook your meal that way. It will be ready before you can change your clothes from getting home from work. And your family will have a delicious, fresh West African meal. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
And from our kitchen, our hearts,
to yours.
Love you.
Let us know if you try it.
Thank you. We want to hear if you like the recipe.
Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram at meroekhalia and Snapchat and Twitter. Bye.
Bye-bye.